Nicki Minaj goes full-blown MAGA and her fans are going nuts. Sydney Sweeney and Zendaya feud blows up, and big appeal news coming out of the Tory Lanez case. What's up? It's your boy Heaven Hollywood back on IE Network. This is the Heaven Hollywood Report, and let's get to it.
It is a total mess behind the scenes for the Euphoria cast as Zendaya refuses to stand next to Sydney Sweeney in any photos. Let's get into it. It couldn't be clearer that Sydney Sweeney is Republican, and ultimately that came out in many ways this past year. And now with the new season coming in spring 2026, Zendaya is refusing to stand next to Sydney Sweeney in photos to promote the show. There is going to be a huge press rollout and PR rollout with tons of red carpets over the next few months to celebrate the upcoming season, and Zendaya is essentially saying, I'm not standing next to her. She is voting for Trump. She is a fan of Trump. She is a Republican. I want nothing to do with it. Euphoria Sundays are coming back in spring 2026. And Zendaya's even saying absolutely not to joint interviews with Sydney to promote the upcoming show, which is going to cause a lot of chaos for them to promote this show effectively. At this point, even though she plays an essential role in the show, people are contemplating whether it's even worth it having Sydney on the upcoming season. I don't think it would happen this upcoming season in season 3, but if Cassie Howard wasn't on Euphoria, would you still watch it?
Zendaya reportedly doesn't want to do any press with Sydney Sweeney for the new season of Euphoria, and honestly, I don't blame her. Zendaya's always been a star, but since the last season of Euphoria, she has bumped up to an A-lister, and I don't think she wants Sydney Sweeney's drama dragging her down. For Sydney, she's down to do press with everyone. She has no hard feelings, but Zendaya doesn't want her name associated with Sydney, who likes to do brand deals that are controversial. She actually recently addressed her American Eagle campaign. This is what she had to say.
American Eagle ad right now, and maybe we should just talk about it. So, were you surprised by the reaction?
The reaction definitely was a surprise, but it was, I love jeans.
The president tweeted about the jeans ad, what that was like.
It was surreal.
It was surreal.
I don't think that Zendaya is being hateful by refusing to work with Sydney Sweeney. She's just trying to protect the empire that she's built. Sydney has an empire of her own as well, working with all these brands. She's got a bunch of movies coming up, and her relationship with Scooter Braun. Kind of messy that Sydney was spotted with Scooter right after she was spotted with her ex-fiancé. All the PDA was making up for whatever this fiasco was. But what do you guys think in the comments below?
Now, we have yet to hear Zendaya or Sydney Sweeney address this publicly, but this is just the news coming out of camps and sources. Zendaya is, very proud on, what she believes in. Sydney Sweeney, to me, doesn't really seem like she wanted to come out as pro-Trump, especially due to the fact that she's on a show that posterizes lesbianism, posterizes homosexuality, right? Profits off of it, off of, pretty much liberal. It's a very liberal show. Probably the most liberal show out there. So I don't think she really meant to come out as a Trump supporter. But now that, it's, Trump is talking about it, and she's going to ride the wave now because it only helped her. So I don't know if comes time for the photo shoots or what have you, is Zendaya, professional enough? I don't even want to say professional enough, but will Zendaya put all of that behind them for the good of the show? Or will it just be too much for her to fake? Zendaya is definitely not a fake person, and she has built her brand up to an A-lister. So it's going to be interesting to see, what happens come time when Euphoria is back at the forefront. Let me know down in the comments what you think Zendaya will do. And big news coming out of the Tory Lanez appeal case, and it looks as though his appeal has been denied. No ineffective assistance of counsel or cumulative error. We affirm Daystar Peterson's conviction. That is what came down from the Supreme Courts. It says, we affirm Daystar Peterson's conviction. The California Court of Appeal has affirmed Tory Lanez's felony conviction and 10-year prison sentence. I'm getting this from Megan Cuniff. She also posted, the opinion affirming Tory Lanez convictions and prison sentence is, as expected, unpublished, which means it doesn't establish new case law and isn't citable, but it will be published, and it definitely has been upheld. So they could appeal this with the, I guess it's the Supreme Appeal Courts. I'm going to assume that you can go up another level to try to have this appeal, but from what they said, they don't see any mistakes great enough to overturn this, or grant him a new trial. They seemed a little bit ticked off at his emails regarding Sean Hawley. Peterson's wholesale failure to support any of these assertions with citations to the record is telling. Right? And he said they mentioned Hawley was not comfortable blaming Kelsey for the shooting. So, man, on appeal, Peterson contends the trial court committed a number of errors. We find no prejudicial error and accordingly affirm Peterson's conviction. So he's going to have to continue to serve his 10-year sentence. Like I said, I expect them to go up with the Supreme Court of the United States, all right, and try to appeal it there. But it's like a 2%. I think they accept like 2% of the petitions or something like that. It's very rare that they overturn it. But we'll see if his lawyers file, go up another level. But as of right now, Tory Lanez's appeal has been upheld. I was wrong. I thought that he was going to win his appeal, but I apologize to the Megan Thee Stallion fans. I was wrong on that count. And moving on to the QOR, Nicki Minaj. Now, there was a story put out hours ago that Nicki Minaj's longtime lawyer, Judd Bernstein, has officially dropped her as a client and leaving the Trinidadian rapper to face a $10 million legal storm solo, according to U.S. Weekly. Now, U.S. Weekly is the one who put this out. Now, this lawsuit stems from, I think it's like a refile from a Tamir Peak. Now, Tamir Peak, I believe they filed a defamation lawsuit against Nicki Minaj in New Jersey a couple of months ago, stating, verbal abuse. I believe they said something about Nicki Minaj calling them fat or something along those lines. But it was some sort of defamation lawsuit. But they dismissed it. Now, they're saying that Judd Bernstein has dropped Nicki Minaj as a client, but he actually came out with a statement, and he says, after I won a dismissal of Tamir Peak's defamation lawsuit against Nicki Minaj in New Jersey, I declined the opportunity to represent her when Peak refiled it in New York. My decision was unrelated to any concern about the merits of Peak's claims. I have no doubt that his complaint is entirely dubious and that Nicki did nothing wrong. So he believes that this lawsuit is frivolous, all right? So he did not drop Nicki Minaj. That is what the reports are coming out saying. So that initial report from U.S. Weekly is completely false. Now, on the other hand, with Nicki Minaj, as far as her fan base goes, a lot of her fan base, once again, is up in arms because of Nicki Minaj's support for Donald Trump. So she recently reposted a post about Donald Trump and his, accolades that he has occurred according to, this post and according to Donald Trump. And a lot of her fans are up in arms because they considering it transphobic. So I'll let you take a look at the post that she reposted. And you see the post says, and it has been a president who prioritizes Americans, no men and women sports, borders closed, our cities are safer than ever, criminal illegals are being deported, gas prices are low, world peace. And Nicki Minaj reposted that, and a lot of her fans are going nuts. Already half of them, I'm not even going to say half of fans, but a good majority of fans, when she first was given Trump props last week, a lot of them said they were no longer going to, follow her or stand her. And now even more behind this. So I'll let you see what a couple of people said on Twitter. This tweet says, Nicki Minaj supporting Trump and most of her fans are gay black men. Oh, Nicki, your album is going to flop harder than Lil Wayne. This one says, this isn't a surprise. Nicki Minaj is a real MAGA. Expect her campaigning for Trump, fighting for her ex-offender brother's pardon and backing her family. Loyalty first, politics second. This is why she does what she does. Real MAGA energy. This tweet says, I don't want to see people doing that dumb TikTok trend, using that remix of What's Up and Bees in the Trap now. Nicki Minaj is a full-on opening, proud Trump supporter. And there's more where that came from, and it just gets worse. This headline read, Nicki Minaj blasted by fans for sharing pro-Donald Trump posts, xenophobic and transphobic. But I have to agree with this post. It says they're still going to support her. Y'all forget people pretend to have high morals and standards. Everybody who was the loudest saying boycott her will be the first to buy her next album and secretly show up to her concerts hoping people forget that they tried to boycott her and use her attention for likes, for attention and likes. Nobody canceled Diddy after all he did. Nobody canceled R. Kelly and so on and so forth. Again, 99% of people pretend to have high morals and standards, but they ain't S, just like the people they talk down on. And Nicki talked S about the appearance of Cardi B's kids, called black women monkeys, married a apist and murderer, and nobody canceled her then. But now her supporting Trump is too much. They can just shut it, and no one will take them seriously. And I agree. A lot of people are saying, oh, her fans are going to not support her. And I totally disagree. I totally think she has a rabid fan base. And I think that they're going to find a way to support her. And they're just going to glance over this. I mean, I think even the fans who are gay, I think even the gay fans, I mean, you see it already. They're out there making excuses for it, saying, oh, she doesn't support Trump. She just was talking about, she's supporting Nigeria, or she's supporting, the other things about the border and stuff like that. They're totally overlooking the stuff she said about the trans comments or whatever. Matter of fact, I see a lot of them saying, oh, well, I agree with her. Women shouldn't be in men's sports, stuff like that. So a lot of her gay fans are standing behind her. And I agree with that post said. I think when time comes to shove, they're going to find a reason to support her. And, I mean, again, as far as political beliefs go, I really could care less when it comes to these celebrities, because in my mind, they all are Republicans and Trump supporter, because Trump is for the rich and these celebrities are rich, right? So the ones that don't say anything, that aren't supporting Biden, to me, they're Trump supporters. They was just Trump supporters and quiet. And I always thought Nicki was a Republican. So this doesn't surprise me. But y'all can let me know what you think down in the comments. I really don't get into their political beliefs. I could care less. But y'all can let me know down in the comments what you think about all of this. It's your boy Heaven Hollywood for the IE Network. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with your friends.
Now that's how you work it.